Over the past few weeks, I've studied dozens of the biggest coaches and creators on YouTube. And what I've noticed is that they're all using the same 7 formats to transform their viewers into buying customers. So in this video, I'm gonna break down these 7 formats and show you real examples of each one of them. And I'm gonna give you the pros and the cons based on how effective they are at building trust, building authority, and getting overall sales through the door. And after that, I'm also gonna tell you which formats I recommend you focus on and which formats you should avoid at all costs. So by the end of the video, you'll know exactly which 2 to 3 formats you should focus on to not only grow your channel but turn your audience into clients. So the first content format is the talking head style, and specifically the unedited talking head style. There will be also a talking head style edited version later on, but we'll get to that. The talking head unedited format is a raw 10 to 20 minute video where you speak directly to the camera that have little to no editing and often are filmed in one take. So here you have some examples. For example, this video from Iman Gaji, where he just basically for 70 minutes drives around in his Ferrari 812, I think it was, and just speaks about how to make your first $1,000 online. Another example is Dan Koe. So he uses this style all the time. If you look at his channel, he would just maybe put in some quotes or something, but for the most part, it's just like a podcast. So the pros of this format is that it's easy to produce weekly. It builds strong authenticity and authority. And it also creates a deep connection with the viewer because it's kind of having a one-on-one moment with the creator where he just speaks to you directly without all the crazy editing or something. And so the cons of this format is that it gets low attention if not structured well. And it's not ideal for first-time viewers as well because it kind of gets boring after a while. And if they don't have a reason already to listen to you, then they're just gonna click off. And so the takeaway is that it's, as I said, ideal for nurturing existing followers. It's like the super customer watches these to understand your deep beliefs. And even though it doesn't get viral reach, it builds authenticity and emotional connection with the viewer. And therefore it's perfect for nurturing people. Then the second format is the whiteboard walkthrough format. So it's basically you explaining or draw a concept live on a whiteboard. It's educational and feels like teaching in real time. Here you have some examples. So you have, I don't really remember his name, but basically he does like self-improvement stuff. Charlie Morgan does this concept as well quite often. He's quite the authority figure in like the business world. So the whiteboard lets him present his ideas in a more structured way. The pros of this format is that it builds perceived expertise. It creates this sense that this guy really knows it because he's standing in front of the whiteboard. It's kind of like a teacher. And it works very well for frameworks and high-level concepts because you have the possibility to illustrate what you're saying. And the concept that it requires visual planning because you can't just draw anything on the whiteboard because then it's just going to be very messy. It's also not ideal for first-time viewers and not scalable to a mass audience because these videos go very in-depth and in some very technical details. And so they kind of get boring if the viewer doesn't already know that you know what you're talking about. So the big takeaway is that it creates a professional-like authority and it's great for explaining models of frameworks. Then the third format is the lifestyle or vlog style format. So it's just a personal vlog showing your daily life, behind the scenes, travels or habits. So here you have some examples. Daniel Dalen does this all the time. You must have seen him. He kind of revived vlogging in the business space. And here you have another example from, I believe he does like crypto and stuff. Just showing his holidays in the Maldives. And the pros of this concept is that it's relatable, fun and engaging. It helps people like you more and it adds personality to an otherwise info-heavy brand. And so the cons of this concept is that it's very low for ROI client acquisition and it's easy to slip into pure entertainment. So people who are going to watch this are not your typical buyers because they're just there to entertain themselves and not to search for a solution to their problem. So this concept builds emotional connection and relatability. Kind of humanizes your brand and it shows that you're not a robot or something. But it doesn't attract new qualified viewers because people who are going to watch these videos are mostly there to be entertained. Now, just before I continue, if you want me to help you build out your YouTube channel to get 10 to 20 qualified book calls every month done for you, check the first link in the description. But that's it. Back to the video. And the fourth content format is a mirror book walkthrough. So it's basically you walking the viewer through a live doc or mirror board explaining frameworks, funnels or systems. It's usually unpolished but highly valuable. So this is perfect for coaches who want to share very technical details and illustrate it. So here, for example, you have someone analyzing Alex Hormozi's funnel or something, basically showing how Alex Hormozi took over the info space and breaking it down into a few different steps. Or you have another example of this guy breaking down Shale Biceps funnel. So you can see in the background, it's very detailed. You have all these different things and it helps the viewer to understand what you're talking about because because they have a visual anchor point. And the pros of this concept is that it's very high information densely, it visualizes concepts and subjects, and you don't really need to prepare anything but the Miro board. And the cons is that it's not very visually dynamic, so you kind of get low average view duration, but it's not really that much of a problem because your ideal viewer will watch it all the way through because they need the information, and all the other people who are just there to entertain themselves will click off. And it works also best if the audience already knows you, because then you have more credibility to actually present something in such detail. So yeah, the takeaway is that it works incredibly well for coaches with frameworks, systems or data, because you can illustrate what you're saying. And it's also perfect for mid-funnel nurture because people who already follow you will watch these and get a ton of value out of them, which will show them that you're the expert and the authority in the niche and that they should buy from you. And the fifth content style is the talking head style, but the edited version. So it's a well-produced talking head that's video with cuts, b-roll, pacing, graphics, and tight editing. These combine value and entertainment. So here are some examples. Yeah, basically all the big coaches are doing it. I took one from Callaway and from Ali Abdaal, but like Alex Hormozi does it, Iman Gadzhi does it. Everybody with a little bit of resources does it. So the pros are that it's engaging and converts extremely well. It's great for discovery because it's kind of entertaining to watch because it's edited and stuff. So people are more likely to stay and watch the entire video. And it's professional and builds instant credibility. It shows that you have the resources to invest in the quality of the visuals in your brand. The cons are that it requires strong editing to not feel cheap, because I see a lot of coaches trying to edit their videos and make them more engaging, but the edits feel very cheap and like you just paid someone $50 to just get it done somehow. And of course, the big con is that it takes way longer to produce than all the other more minimalist formats. So overall, it's the best performing middle of funnel format. So middle of funnel in the sense of nurturing people, because it keeps attention and delivers authority. And it's great for coaches who want to scale with content that both converts and builds awareness. Because the other formats, it's kind of like they convert extremely well because you give a lot of information and build a lot of authority through the information you're providing. But if new viewers don't stay to absorb all that information, it's kind of useless. So the sixth content format is the presentation slides walkthrough. So it's a more polished version of the Miro format using slides, transitions, b-roll, etc. Here you have some examples how to create your own style. This coach helps men improve their self-care, their fashion, or more classical for Iman Gadzhi, he does this a lot. Actually, recently, you can see it 2 months ago, 7 AI skills you must have to become rich in 2025. And it's basically just him walking through a presentation like this and giving you a ton of value. So the pros is that it's very educational and structured. It's great for high ticket positioning, and it's easy to repurpose into a lead magnet or course clip. Because what you can do is produce a lot of these videos where you're just walking through a presentation like this and give a ton of value, and just put it into a school community and say, oh, I've created this entire free course. But when you actually then join with just the lead magnet, it's just an organized version of their YouTube channel content. And so the cons are that it's more time intensive to make than other minimalistic styles, and it can feel dry if not paced dynamically. So the takeaway is that it's perfect for webinars, mini trainings or framework reveals, and it feels professional and credible, which builds trust and credibility. And the last content format is the case study interview. So it's a podcast style conversation where you and a client share a real transformation or strategy. So you have some examples, how I taught a virgin how to approach 100 women in 7 days, how this guy posted 300 plus videos per month. So it's always around a transformation. So you start where your client was before joining your program and then explain how you did it to get him to the end result. The pros are that it builds massive credibility instantly, and instantly is very important because even if nobody watches the video, just the fact that it's on your YouTube page shows that you have clients, that you have social proof, and that overall your program works. On the other side, the cons are that you need clients willing to do an interview. And yeah, as I said, not a lot of people are going to watch it through, but this isn't really a problem, as I explained. Just to see your thumbnail is already social proof. Yeah, so overall, it demonstrates proof and expertise through real stories. And it builds social proof even if it doesn't go viral. Even without watching the video, you can gain a ton of social proof for it being on your feed. So these are the 7 content formats, but what format should you choose? Now, the exact content formats depend a bit on your niche. Because for example, if your ICP is over 40 years old, you're not gonna throw at him these edited videos. And something like the talking head style without all the flashy edits might be great for you. But for most of you, you need 2 to 3 formats. You need one for educational style videos, you need one for action-based videos, and you will need one for social proof videos. Now, the social proof video could be incorporated in a talking head video, for example, or presentation. Because for example, you could do just a walkthrough of one of your clients' transformations instead of like an interview. Now in general, I would suggest you go for the edited talking head style and the more presentation style like the miro board or the whiteboard as your foundation. And this allows you to have one format that is optimized for retention, making it easier for first-time viewers to spend time with you and get to know you. And then you need the presentation style format to go into very specific details and illustrate them and show that you're the expert and you actually know what you're doing. And then those client interviews, it's really nice to have a few of them, but they should not be overdone. And then raw talking head videos or vlogs should be done very rarely, if at all, if your goal is to get clients. Now from time to time, this could be done to allow the viewer to connect with your personality, but yeah, from time to time. And again, this could vary a bit based on your niche or your goals. Because for example, if you try to build a massive personal brand, vlogs are essential for that. But yeah, if you have any questions, just drop them in the comments. I will try my best to get back to you as soon as possible. Alright, that's a full breakdown of the 7 YouTube content formats every coach should know about. So I recommend you go for the editing talking head style as well as some more in-depth presentation like the miro board style as your main two. And then you can experiment with some other formats and throw in a vlog or something from time to time to show you that you are still human. Now, as I mentioned in the video, if you want me to take care of everything for you, so ideation, scripting, editing, thumbnails and a lot more, check the link in the description to see if we would be a great fit to work together.